So I was listening to Matt Bertulli, who runs Lomi and Peel a Case, which do a combined top line revenue of over 100 million bucks a year. And he was revealing a very tactical thing they do with new customers that, in my observation, allow them to build brand and reputation that anyone can do, regardless of how big they are and if they're not doing 100 million bucks in top line. He shared that his team and himself as well, they record personalized videos on their iPhones to their customers, thanking them for their order. And at first, this may seem pretty unscalable, especially when you're doing 100 million bucks plus in top line. But as a nuance, he shared that about 250 first names represent 75% of all of your customers, which means they can deliver a very personalized experience for their customers in a much more scalable fashion. You know, dividing that 250 among a team of 5, that's 50 names a person to record, which you could probably bang out in an afternoon, right? And then obviously there's a 25% left over beyond the 75 that you still got to take care of, but it could be a lot more scalable than you'd expect. So for the remainder of this video, I'll be walking through how I'm strategizing, how we can implement this personalized video tactic in a single afternoon or two with just 1 or 2 people and a couple AI softwares that are pretty accessible to everyone. So there's 2 major parts to this process. The first is figuring out the names, and the second is actually getting the videos produced. These 2 big parts are really broken down into 5 steps. So I'm showing it on my screen here. The first step that we'll do is find the most popular first names using Code Interpreter. The second is we'll write and film a script for the base video that we'll use. Third step is to change names using Descript Overdub. Fourth step is to create segments based on first name so that, you know, if a customer coming in with the name Mary shows up, they can get the Mary video, and Leslie can get the Leslie video, and Tommy can get the Tommy video. And the last part is to create the flows to welcome each first name. So let's just start with the first step, which is actually identifying the names that are worth doing this for, that will provide you the ability to scale without having to film, spend all day filming. All right, so the first step, we're going to have to find out the names that we want to prioritize and that we know are the most popular among our customers, because we can expect that, if right now the names Brian, Sally, and Tom are the most common among our current customers, that will probably be representative of the most common names of new customers coming in. So that's what I want to look for. And I also want to see if in our data that we have access to, whether we have a similar distribution like Matt, where 75% of the customers share 250 first names represent 75% of most customers' first names. So here's a set of the data that we have, an export of 7 CSVs of about 90K orders. So I'm going to tell Code Interpreter here to combine the CSVs so that we've got a base to work with when it comes to finding the data that we want to find. So let's see what happens here. Just going to tell it to combine. All right, the first thing I'm going to ask here is to find out how many unique orders are here, just so that I can have a denominator for finding out of the unique names, how much representation is there when it comes to unique orders, unique first names divided by unique orders. All right, so now it knows that there's 89,000 unique orders. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it for how many unique first names there are. And the reason why I want to do this is because I want to know how many unique first names there are as a total, so that I can see of the unique first names that exist in this database, how representative, how many first names there are total across all these orders. So it says 6681, which is awesome. And then so of these, I want to know how many of these first names does it take to represent 80% of the orders that come through. I'm going to tell it to regenerate here because I think it's not really understanding or calculating this properly. So let's see what it does on the second go. There we go. So this second attempt was much better. So yeah, 406 of the unique first names represent 80% of the total first names, which is pretty close to what Matt Bertulli was experiencing with Pila and Lomi. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to tell it to just give me a taste of the top most common names so that I have at least a starting point to know how to prioritize which names to make videos for. So I'm going to throw in here, create a table and list the first names that are most popular in descending order of popularity. Show the top, we'll say 30. And let's see. Awesome. So of the 406 that represent the 80% of names that come through on orders, first names that come through on orders, here's the first 30. So Mary, Linda, Susan, Karen, Lisa. So now I have a direction on where I can start when it comes to the names, and I could do this all the way down to 406, and that'll give me some good coverage of up to 80% of my customers that come through. So that covers the large majority of step number one, which is finding the most popular first names using Code Interpreter. All right, the second step, which I'm not going to walk through because this is very brand dependent, is to write and film a script for the base video. So an example of that would be like, hey, Mary, really appreciate you putting in your first order. We really value you as a new customer. We're going to be working on your order as soon as possible and getting out the door within the next couple of days. If you'd love to add anything else to your order and get free shipping, please do that now. Within the next 24 hours, we'll be working on your order, but you've got a little bit of time to add a little bit more, and shipping's free. Here's your code. And yeah, great to have you as part of the brand name family. And so that first part where I said, hey, Mary, is a part that we could interchange with different names. And so that moves into step number 3, which is changing names using Descript Overdub. So I'm going to pop over here to this screen, and Descript is a really cool product that has been out for a while. And one of the things that's really cool about them is that you can use text to speech to change and fix anything that you're saying that you want to change. So for example, if I'm filming this video right now and I misspeak a word or I want to add in another word, Descript will actually allow me to not have to refilm this entire thing, but rather I can type in what it is that I wanted to change what I was saying to, and it'll use AI to fix that for me. So in this case, when it comes to what we're trying to do with personalized videos, what you can do is change the first name that you're using. So in one version of the video, I'll have Hey Mary. In the next version, I'll have Hey Linda. In the next version, I'll have Hey Susan. And I can do this without having to film a separate video or even saying the name Mary, Linda, Susan, Karen, Lisa over and over and over again. I just have to do that first base video saying, Hey Mary, and then all the rest can be created just through typing, which is really cool. So that's step number 3. And then step number 4 would be to create segments based on first names so that your email marketing software will know that if someone comes in with the first name Mary, it knows to send to Mary this personalized video and even a personalized flow if you'd like. So within Klaviyo, this is possible. If you go to create segments, you can go to setting the definition to properties about someone, and then choose the dimension first name. And in this case, I would throw in the dimension Mary, right? And then I'll go to create segment. We'll just call this Mary first name. And let's just see what happens. All right, cool. It's done. So now we can see that we've got 1,200 Marys as part of our customer list, which is pretty cool. And so, again, what we're banking on is that the past is an indication of the future to a degree. And that because we have a lot of Marys right now, we're probably going to get more Marys in the future. So that's step 4. And then step 5 is to create flows to welcome each first name. So using those segments, you can create personalized flows, and that flow can have one email just with that personalized video that you want to send them, or it could have a whole flow that's like personalized to Mary. Maybe you want to send her personalized gifts, personalized messaging. If you run apparel or you run jewelry, personalized products based on their first name. But yeah, I think this exercise of thinking through how you could do something that big brands are doing, um, using AI and using technology without having to spend months, weeks, or years doing it is really cool. And how accessible it is for brands of all sizes, whether you're doing 100 grand a year or 100 million a year, you can still do very similar tactics to provide special experiences that allow you to build brand reputation and stand out in your relationships with your customers. So that's all I have today. Hope there's something for you to work with here and to think about when it comes to the power of Code Interpreter, Descript, and ways that you can surprise and exceed the expectations of your customers to build your brands. See you guys in the next video.